Hi, I'm Sharaad Kuttan and welcome to Let's Talk, the show that tries to bring you some of the most important conversations of the day. Now, we're going to be looking at cinematic arts in Malaysia, the training of, and to help me in this conversation, I have with me some of the people behind an upcoming an upcoming short film called Kelinguh, which is Kayan for Echo. It's a final year project by some young people coming out of MMU, Multimedia University, Johor, which has a cinematic arts program. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. I have with me Jeremy Jecky, who's the director of the short film, and Joeline Wong, the producer. Now, these are very, very crucial roles, clearly, in the making of film. But let's start with your training, and I want to ask Joeline, you're the producer, and that's a role that must be kind of unglamorous in many ways. Directors, actors get a lot of attention. Producers, much less so within the world of cinema. Though I think people in the world of cinema probably respect producers as a very important part of the process. So tell us, why did you choose, coming out of your studies, to become a producer? What's driving you in that direction?
I guess I've tried like different aspects in filmmaking. I've tried like directing, sound department, editing, but then it's something about producing that keep pulling me back. Like I like scheduling, I like handling stuff. I like hire cast or make like audition, things like that.
You like to be in control.
You could put it that way.
This is a very powerful role that you have, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what is it a 4-year course or a 3-year course?
4 years.
Yes. 4 years.
It's 1 year foundation and 3 years degree.
Okay. Jeremy, tell us about yourself. I mean, I know Jolene's from Malacca, you're from Sarawak. Tell us about why, after all these years, 4 years, you've chosen to focus on being a director.
Oh yeah, sure. So I began my journey in filmmaking by making silly short videos on YouTube with my siblings, just with whatever camera that we had, making short action films, just an excuse to try out because we watched YouTube tutorials on how to do, like, for example, lightsabers and all that. So it started from there, just to fill up the time, because I had a year gap before continuing my studies, and I fell in love with filmmaking through that. It was just something silly, and from there,
and how old were you when you
I was like 16, 17. So it was a perfect time to just mess around and play around. And I'm glad that my parents allowed us to play. Yeah, really, that's the word, to play with it. To try out stuff, to see where this thing can go. And they're not really typical parents where like, they have set a certain career path for me. So I was living with that.
Okay, so you were playing around 16, 17. What were you influenced by? Because I think, and this is a typical question you ask all creative people.
Sure.
Who's influenced you? What is it that you want to? Who do you model yourself on?
Oh yeah. When I first started, it wasn't really people, but just watching films. I remember growing up when I was 5 or 7 years old. I think one of the local television station, they showed, to promote feature films, they showed like interviews with cast and directors, and they showed little snippets of behind the scene of them making the film, and I was intrigued by the process of making them. But I was intrigued by how they made films and how they started getting into it. And from there, I guess it grew into let's try out this thing. Let's try out filmmaking. And
so there wasn't anybody specifically.
If there was a specific person, it might be Spielberg. That's a very typical answer. But in our household, my dad would have like videotapes of his films, and it wasn't necessarily made for kids. Like really, maybe Jaws or stuff that are not, kids are not.
E.T. was definitely.
Maybe E.T., but he has quite a range of films that he made. And my dad would buy, when he goes to like KL, for example, because we're from Kuching, he'll bring back tapes, VHS tapes, and that's why we would watch, along with, the typical kids' stories. And
right.
yeah.
Okay, so it was basically the kind of cultural milieu that all of us grew up in.
Yeah, it's very typical, yeah.
Popular culture, driven a lot by American cinematic arts. Jolie, I mean, in choosing to actually sign on to this program at MMU, specifically the Johor branch, which you've told me before the show that it focuses on a kind of broad-based cinematic arts education. I mean, was it a big decision? I mean, did your parents say, "Oh, let's do something a little more practical"?
I feel like because during high school, I already chose that, I want to study something related to art. Like before I choose filmmaking, I wanted to study fine art. So my parents know about it, and they know that I'm not good in science, not good in math, so So yeah, I think it's somehow just lead me to filmmaking. Yeah.
Right. Okay. But there must be people who think, oh, this is going to be glamorous. You sign up for a course like this, and then the reality of it must be quite different because it's hard work, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do people drop out of your cinematic arts course?
Oh yeah, they do.
They do?
They do, yeah.
At a phenomenal rate. Okay, so maybe, Jeremy, explain to us a little bit about the curriculum. What exactly is going on at MMU Johor? What is it they're trying to produce in you and, and the people there?
Yeah, sure. So it is more of a technical school early on when they started. But like, you learn how to hold the camera, use the editing software and all that. But part of the curriculum also enforces this need to understand cinema history, cinema as a language. So the more kind of like abstract way of thinking what cinema is, because I think that's where the content comes alive, where the art comes alive. You can film a short film or a feature length on your phone, but if whatever that you captured is interesting or of value, then it's something worth watching, something worth making. So the technical stuff is important, but that's the part of the curriculum is trying to teach that also.
Right. So the technical stuff is a vehicle to deliver
a
message, ideas.
Yeah.
And have you grown in that sense, Joeline? I mean, your view of cinema, has it changed over the 4 years of doing this course?
Yeah, it changed quite a lot. Like before this, imagine like a film, like a specific shot about maybe just a fly stop on a cup and it flies off. Maybe to like normal audiences, they would think like, oh, it's just a normal thing. Like they don't even know why they put it inside the film. But then we study about film language. We study about, oh, there is like a deeper meaning behind everything, behind the film. Yeah.
Okay, so you've actually deepened your understanding of film as you've gone along. Now, I understand Kelinguh, which is that short film that you're working on, is your final year project due in March. Who developed the idea? Where did it come from? Was it a short story before it became a film, or was it something that bubbled up from your own imagination?
It definitely, the genesis of a specific idea came from Orang Ulu culture, Kayan and Kenyah culture and folklore. One of the stories that people used to tell was the origins of sape.
Sape is the instrument.
Sape is the traditional musical instrument. So according to this folklore, it says that it came from this farmer who was searching for a cure for his wife who was dying. And in his dream, his ancestors told him to build this boat that could bring him to the other side, to the spirit realm. And this boat that he built, eventually manages to rescue his wife's spirit who was lost. And this boat that he built eventually became the sape, and that's how the sape looks like a boat from its side view. And from that folklore, I tried to combine it with my own personal experience with death and grieving for a family member and how we all deal with this. And I choose to use a more metaphorical approach to dealing with it instead of more
so
direct approach.
you've taken a personal kind of experience and tried to make it universal.
Yeah, universal basically.
Okay, we'll take a short break. I'll be back with more. Stay tuned to Let's Talk.